This is not going to be seen. All are presented. So improving your presentation skills, you press useful information, because climate change is useful information to you, energy, environmental degradation, and whatnot. All are useful information you're going to your society. And then see how the experts, you have videos also experts. I wouldn't say I'm an expert. You also see some experts video who can talk a very good communication, especially Madhavan. You can see Rati, Rini Sainam Khanna, and of course Sashikar is full of vocabulary that not help you. He talks only vocabulary, which will not give you you make you tired and all that. You lose confidence because Sashikar is overloaded with vocabulary. And Arundhati Roy's speech you can take it out, but not others I will advise. YouTubers and all, you don't see people are making money out of it, will not fetch you professionalism, isn't it? So that's what you have to be professional. See only the scientific people talking, scientific information alone. Otherwise, it's a sheer waste on your part and your energy part also. So learn it without notes. Watch yourself in the mirror. I already told you. Mirror mechanism is again you're raising your eyebrows, talking, glowing eyes and all that, and raising your eyebrows properly, not having wrinkling eyebrows like that's why such things are happening and all that. Frowning is avoided, so that's what you always have a smiling rhythm in your face and all that. That will give a glowing face, which will also make the people to watch to you. That's what it's advice for us. And give yourself time to prepare. Preparation needs a lot of time. Rehearsals expected every time, every now and then. And use the visual aid is very important, because I would advise to come for extended preparation for tomorrow. You don't bring any aid and all that. Then it will be very nice to know my training will fetch really a larger benefit and all that. You try to rehearse and come without any aid like this. So it will be useful for you because you'll have more confidence level. That's what I advise you to don't use PowerPoint and all that. And that itself will be great for you. For that you need some rehearsals. So take a topic which is simple and utterance within 5 minutes. So take it a simple topic. I think you will see the final part of my slide now. Sample set will help you to know a simple slide will be enough for you. What do you think? Markers, discourse markers, mini dialogues you want to have it. And other thing is your phrasal verbs and all thing, and you have some sort of interrogative pronouns, which is enough for you to maneuver your speech with a little idea. Vermicomposting, you'll have one demonstration part and all that. The demonstration part itself will be helpful for you. So always have positive thinking. Stay on the topic. I am not deviating. You just see I am talking only climate change and energy. I won't be deviating, but data, everything is given only with the purview of the topic. Topic debate, otherwise you confuse people. That's very important. Overall on the topic, follow a general outline. I'm going to do the outline. Next one. Connect with the audience always. Connecting is very, very important. Relax your mind and body. That's very important. And because for that you have to breathe in, breathe out exercise not necessary. You have to face and all that. You just rub out the face and you keep refreshment coming for the presentation and all. This is very important. And be aware non-verbal cues also. Non-verbal cues cannot be always making hands and all, using unnecessary. It will be overdoing and all. That should not done in a scientific way and all that. Have the arms crossed. Make a little stretch. Make a big stretch and all that. And this you have to make it this much. Like that, you have a little non-verbal which you reverse in front of your mirror and all that, and your speech and the non-verbal cues must be incongruent with each other. It should not be mismatching with each other. It should be matching on big data. You have a big data, small round so it's incongruent and all that. So you see that how the words will be congruent with the speeches and all that. Learn to slow down. Stay hydrated. Keep water drinking. But you don't dehydrated. First you hydrate with water. That's all. Over time tired because it should not show 5 minutes because over time as though you are a little tense and so I don't hydrate when I'm speaking and all that. So because I'm cool, so I don't be dehydrated. That's very important point. Storyteller, narration is very important. storytelling, everything should be like a story, and that will be fascinated by the audience. Some humor, structure should be also there. Dress the part. Dress is very important. You are very informal. Karthikeyan is asking, you the dress just like that. I don't put normally a white shirt and all that. I have a lot of colorful shirts. But there is I am not dress also because typical presenter I should not come. I came casually to make you also becomes casual. In series thing now, you know, like presentation, panic, fright and all that. You keep cool and all. Whatever rubbish you talk, we'll accept it. Whatever is related to social media, no botheration. Because coolness will you make you receive a lot of ideas. Stay cool. My classes, I will not take anything below this. Even my administration, but useless fellows, entire body will be, when this happens, you lose your health and all that, you will not receive your ideas properly. So keeping cool and stay intact. Keep yourself graceful, your eyes you can be graceful, your hands you can be graceful, moderate gesture you can be graceful, and authenticity is very important. All your data, figures must be very much authenticated. Don't give us spurious data, wrong data also. Ask for feedback. Again, take about feedback. Listen, how you liking me, this thing, are you listening, are you really comfortable with me? So this is how they make it. You have to connect to the audience every time. You don't think you are everything. Though you just feel initially listening donkeys, it doesn't mean anything, because when you think they are all intellectuals, you'll be frightened to give you ideas. That's what you think all are donkeys. Then only you'll be able to give you ideas. It doesn't mean you are underestimating the audience. That should not be wrong or construe. It's wrong construing is also not a good no. So then only you will be having a free flow of ideas. It is coming gradually and all that make you will have a narrative journalism. Narrate permanently, you have to do it. Narration so long, normal narrating, decade old, manuring the manure forage crop, So for this you have necessarily watch the channel of new NDTV, CNN, IBN, and also BBC, for which you need to unconsciously learn your pronunciation, check and on them. That will give a higher order of learning. Dalai Lama Sonamari, higher order of learning comes when you go for higher order of thinking, which comes from the media. Media is coming a big way. YouTube, content media, you don't see it. Sundry media, you don't see it. You go for quality speakers and all that. Every time you're going to be holding this. When you're comfortable, you can be expanding this and you can be doing this kind of thing, you can be holding this and you can be coming out and talking. But mic level, I could not move here. When I have a collar mic, I'll be moving. Better if you have a collar mic, but the students have to move and talk to people. Don't you know the seriousness of this thing? Are we not responsible for our pollution? Are we not responsible for this kind of mishappening in the universe? What is going to happen for the younger generation? What you are going to leave for the posterity? Let's all think and take these things very seriously. Let's come to the point. You'll have an attachment to the audience and all that. That's what I told you to connect to the audience and summarize your main thoughts. That's all. Practice. Main training on that. Second part of number 1. This is the concept. Fear, excitement, always make you comfortable. No fear, no fret at all. That is very important. Keep cool and keep neatly form your this thing, put your dupatta properly, put your this thing properly. Dupatta because it leads a lot of awkwardness and all that. Girls because you have to make it a pin and all. Be confident. Let the dress flow and all that. Boys also come not with a tie and all, tuck-in shirt and all that. Normally I do this. But it won't pressure but pant will other the people will be talking about they'll be thinking like this, now this level, other non-verbal cues level, awkwardness. So stand straight, hold the podium and talk to the mic and talk to the audience. It's very important and all that. So that will give a gentleness is very important. Gentleness will be very much appreciated in your presentation. This thing, next one. Anchor yourself, அது anchorage. ஒரு இடத்துல நின்று கரெக்டாக போஸ்ட் நிற்கிறது anchorage. நம்ம ஒரு கப்பல் நிற்கிற மாதிரி ஒரு இடத்துல நின்று you have to talk. That's called anchor yourself. That's what I put in. Free nose. Know your room, know your audience, know your speech and all that. So I'm standing here, my audience are here, my chairs are here, there's nothing to do here. Only the PPT I can move and show and all. When you don't have any PPT and all that, you put yourself and talking like this. See the scenario. Just like that you have to maintain, there is no PPT. As because I have PPT, I should stand here and have a sliding my head here and there and all that. One is know your room, stroll, feel environment. You have to feel the environment. Because I just feel it, because my environment is full of chairs, AC my environment is full of boys. I look into the boys and girls whether they are really intently listening or listening casually or listening consciously or listening ritually. Because எல்லாமே இப்போ வந்து ஏன் நான் இன்ட்ரெஸ்டாக இருக்கிறேன்னா because நீங்கள் வந்து ரிச்சுவலிஸ்டிக்காக இல்லை, you are all intently listening all the persons. இதுக்கு ஓடிட்டாங்க எனக்கு இந்த கேர்ள்ஸ் they came off, they went off, I don't know, some botheration with them because at least when they are listening to me, that is how the communicator must be feeling that I'm partially successful, but finally only you have to tell that whether I'm successful or what. Then know your audience, sync with the audience. I'm syncing with the audience, and the scenario is very poor. How we are going to deal with this? You have to listen to me. I should see you and tell. I cannot looking here and there and talking all. That will be also not good. Know your speech, rehearse thoroughly. So thorough rehearsal is very important. Every time you have to rehearse it, keeping the point, what is next, what is next. That's very important. Next one. That's the photo again. The rehearsal. The boys were standing and syncing with the audience. Stroll around environment, I put it out. Because it should have a relevance to the first, second and third. Otherwise, you will not have an understanding sensation about the topic. Number 3. Now the next one. Doesn't know the script for you, so adala bother pannadinga. Naan solradha raja. What I tell, that is very much important. When you will be thinking, audience will be knowing, some data will be a little bit and all, I'll manipulate. And the manipulation panna vendam because 43.6% is correct. Youth population 121.22 million is correct. Paddy wheat product rice production is not 111.24. I think agronomists is also there. And all. So other than that, 300 million tons of food grains is reserved. Production, and we have got 100 million tons of reserve and all that. We are exporting Ukraine to about 9% and 20% Prime Minister has negotiated. We are exporting Ukraine also, so our foreign reserves were also very high. Basmati is very much wanted in UK. There was one consignment which was again targeted to pull you out, but people have said it is good only. So this is not a thing which have made us pull for the export and all. So our actual UK country, because the Basmati is very much preferred by UK people because they go for biryani and all that. So when you're confident, you will not mess up, you will be relaxed, you will have you do yoga and all that. Because you should understand, audience doesn't know the script and all that. They will not be what you have learned. And not tomorrow, you will go to make teriyadu. It's a good fun, nothing wrong anyway. Because I'm not doing all the topics. You so I'll be thinking like this. So when you are thinking about, you'll have a fear and all, you'll not be clear and all. Come with a topic which will be unique by yourself, and because it is expert by yourself, then only you'll be able to talk. Don't think and that the audience will be knowing. The audience will not know the script. Next one. Training. Kinesthetic, I know your body language, foot wiggling, cross legs and all that. Normally people will be, girls kalata that and all, because they will be always making a foot wiggling and all. This is not this thing. Have an eye contact, smile always. Every time you have a smile. Unless the guffawing went up. Like that you don't have things that's called fillers, no? Ouch. All these are fillers which are called as interjections. That's sports ground like that you do it, but not in the classroom. It's intellectual gathering, so it doesn't need any kind of interjections. Normally it's called as foot wiggling and all that, other things like fillers. Smile, and everyone will be faithful. That's a thing. The body language is very important. Next one. watch your text, the crowd, இதுதான் இருக்கக்கூடாது. ஒரு slide only 5 sentences, 5 phrases, each sentence can contain 2 words. They're not more than that. That's what we train Prashant also. All of them, early it was very crowded, shrouded with information and all that. Finally, we fine-tuned, and after 9 hours of training, they were able to bring only 6 slides. They made it out within 10 minutes. எல்லாமே 10 minutes, 9 minutes முடிச்சிட்டாங்க. அதனால 9 minutes முடிச்சாச்சு. Prashant, you have completed 9 minutes now, 10 minutes. So they were very clear about the presentation. Avoid big walls of text. Text will not be interesting to anyone. You talk to people, even the text can be put in palatable form. Only throw the ideas around, like brilliance and all. There is a lot of things that is going on. This is a state of affairs and all that. When you build your sentence with a lot of sentences, it will be boring. Only short communication, the best communication. Throw your ideas and all that. Om Namo Haya Namo and the mother actually because in those days where complex sentences we were using, area of this operator based now, content will be very less when you talk more. Content slides like 5 minutes content. You sensitize, you enlighten people, you caution the people, you give the suggestions, you give the conclusion, and finally they catch up the audience. Audience ஐம்பத்தோரு பேர் புரிவிக்கணும் தான். That's what the presentation makes you understanding sensations among the audience, not to express yourself, impress others. உங்க vocabulary, உங்க language, of course administration இருந்தாலுமே நான் எப்போதுமே ரொம்ப though people say good voice என்ன இருந்தா கூட அதை believe பண்ண மாட்டேன். I should see the content மட்டும் எனக்கு இருக்குதான்னு பார்த்துட்டே வருவேன். That's what I am successful. சும்மா fascinate பண்றதுக்கு வர மாட்டேன். Because I will be fascinating and all will be there, but content must be there. யோசிக்க வைக்கணும். The people must think and act due to your presentation. Next one. Purpose. Try to cover the topic. Don't deviate, try to improve it. That's I think topics is very important. That is what is expected. Any topic, I will give you some topic also, because you can have any topic of yours. Attitude, motivation, solar energy, wind energy, anything we talk about. Wind energy and its implications, solar energy, its importance, and thrust to mixed forming, prosperity through wind energy, and propensity and remedy of climate change, vermicomposting and its effect on this thing, temperature stress in the crop, and like that you have a lot of topics, isn't it? So these are all the control measures for any pests and all that, and what is the damage control mode. Like that you have a lot of topics on, but don't deviate, try to improvise and improve the topic. That's very important. You should be very topical, no deviation. Next one. Not a rat race, but a rat race fumbling for words. One point of time you fumble and all that. It will be really awkward. When you forget, you'll be fumbling. The person listen carefully, focus on speaking, listen carefully and fumble. Don't fumble. That is the person is fumbling. He was not able to do anything. What is next? That will be a very awkward. 3 minutes space opportunity will be not be given to you, and people will look down upon you. But I am not. Even if fumble, don't bother. We'll have a next video next day also will be an opportunity. Don't put everything in your mind. Your mind must be open to only take the topic, rehearse it, do homework, plan, prepare, practice, and present. P to the power of 4. Next one. Storytelling, incredible communication tool. Start stories, start engaging, capture the interest with impactful story. Another impact. Impact is a heavy loaded word. I'll show you what is impact. Subsequent. Next one. Practice. That's 2 slides for develop a bond, add small activities, get attention, create a positive message. Don't emulate every idea of copy. Don't be parroting idea of presentation. You have your own originality to do it. But the framework I'll give you, just make yourself within the framework and all, because the uniformity very much. The framework will be nice. On the day we have had a framework, no? So we were able to manage the timing only because of framework, and customization is also important. Next one. While presentation, energy level is very important. Last minute energy, because 1 hour, 2 hours, but I have taken only 40 minutes and 20. 1 hour, because we started very late now. So presentation வந்து அதுக்குள்ள we have to see that while presentation always have the energy level. Once the energy level is retained, you will be enjoying your presentation and all that. For the energy level breathing, rehearsal is very important. Being a dull on you are prepared. So you keep on explaining and all that. Be comfortable, stand still and all that. Tell a story and be enthusiastic. Until the last moment, you have to, till the last moment, you have to be energetic. That is how the presentation can be done. Because human mind is very much wavering, vacillating. Vacillating na andha poittu irukum. But when keeping your mind intact is very important. Next one. Opening. Body closing. I'll give an example. Opening. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And there is tomorrow you will call good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Preetika, doing my second PhD in nematology. I am here to present on the topic nematodes and control measures. Nematode is very much an appalling problem. Nematodes create a lot of damage to the crop. There is a lot of dispatch to the farmers. There is no proper scientific mechanism to control. Or else, Arogya Felix will learn. For example, I am Arogya Felix doing my third PhD in Department of Agronomy. Now there is import of fertilizer really bearing the brunt for the government. We are shelling out huge money for importing them. A lot of taxpayers' money has been grabbed because of fertilizer import, especially nitrogen, phosphorus and potash. Nitrogen export is very much, import is very much burdening the exchequer of the government. So we have to seek for an alternative to make eco-friendly practices that is called as axe-fed vermicomposting. This is one of the innovative technologies which will again fetch 6 hours per year because of we are using the mineralizer, biomineralizer. So biomineralizer provides the two type of benefits we are going to get from this. One is compost preparation, another one is vermicompost sale. This is given a big hype. Now it's going in a full swing. Every day a lot of farmers are coming and looking into this because we have established machineries here and they were able to reap the dual benefit and all that. And a lot of farmers in and around country are coming for training and interested to make the area sustainable, profitable, feasible and ecologically viable and environmentally stable. That's what vermicomposting gains huge momentum at the backdrop of the fertilizer and its costliness. So how to do it? So this is so what is the scope for this? Because it's one of the scopeful things for all the entrepreneurs and women who are also coming forward. Even urban elites are coming to start this enterprise. Next one, because utilities, because it's a lot of money, even the people can use a leisure time. The space is not a constraint for them. A short space is important. To conclude, this kind of vermicompost must be adopted in future also to increase the employment opportunity and to empower the people. Thanks you for the opportunity. Thank you once again, one and all present here. And the number is 5 minutes. 3 minutes now. When you know the data container, you will have a patch and all. So opening is hello, hi and all, really informal. You have to use for opening with a good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Prabhu presenting here. I have come to present here and to introduce myself. I am delighted to introduce myself. I am happy to introduce myself. I am very much overwhelmed to introduce myself. Other than you can use one thing. The topic of today's is body is firstly we take the what was happening earlier. Zero birth natural forming, Ayurvedic forming, Amritamani forming and all natural forming, zero birth natural forming and organic forming. You give a prelude and all that. 1 or 2 points. Secondly, how it is gaining important. Thirdly, you talk about technical details. The body must be giving very much statistics, facts, figures, images and all that. Closing to conclude, to recapitulate as a corollary, so far we have seen, thus far we have seen, thus far, so far, and then we note but thus far, so far we have seen, to conclude, and then no worries. So opening, body and closing should be the framework for your presentation for tomorrow's. Next one. Markers mean all the 4 morphemes are markers. Morphemes are 1 or 2 words. In other words, we say in other words, Andhra, no, you are from Andhra, the person, Andhra people, Andhra, you're from Karnataka, Maharashtra, because Maharashtra, Andhra and all of them, because now you cannot change. Normally they use or emphasizing or, warm welcome, norm and all that. But or should not be potentially used. Warm welcome. That's what other words. This is to say, so to say, That is the thing. Through it all now, all along we have seen that though. Through it all we have seen the vermicomposting and process, its benefits and all. Through it, use பண்ணீங்க. அதான் உங்களுக்கு போற slides. நான் ரொம்ப யோசிச்சு போறேன். For example, take for instance, இதெல்லாம் markers. Markers are grammatical markers, indicates a grammatical function of the market word, phrase or sentence. இதெல்லாம் அப்பப்ப வந்து you have to do all those things. Take for instance, example சொல்றப்போ. Say for example, so to speak, or as it is, we are productive and we are taking a good deal in composting. But what is the advantage over the existing composting? Accelerated vermicomposting as an innovative component because we are introducing the biomineralizer component into it to fastly perpetuate the growth of the worms and all that. As it is, we have got only one harvest, but due to accelerated vermicomposting, we will be using more harvest. Other as it is. Instead, indeed, it's a great pleasure for us. Indeed, then again, you have to know. Perhaps it's a great pleasure. You can use probably also, perhaps also. But for now, we can add it. But for now, many people want to go for organic foods. But for now, as of now, the trend is today the world is changing. Like that, you can use whatever they want. But these are the markers which you have to use for your presentation. Next one. To conclusion, also use mark to sum up. To summarize, to recapitulate. In total, we have seen much about the organic farming and vermicomposting. In short, my presentation is talking about accelerated vermicomposting. In sum, to conclude, as a corollary, normally in written communication we use corollary, but here also we can use it. Corollary means the conclusion part. So these are the markers used for conclusion part. Next one. Discourse markers very important. These are the signposts and all that. It will join together a paragraph and all that. One sentence at the top, next sentence you have to join together with a lot of words, showing attitude also. Nevertheless the situation, nonetheless the situation, in spite of, despite the fact that, although, as this is not enough, இதெல்லாம் வந்து connecting to the paragraph and all that. Normally it's called as connectors, otherwise it's called as discourse markers, otherwise it's called as signpost. Next one. You will have examples for discourse marker also. Word because turbulent actually is very aggressive and all that. You have a fighting spirit for a presentation. It can be cool, but the intensity of presentation must be done in a turbulent manner. You have to use a discourse markers. What it is now, and the phrase is very expressive, very emphatic. You have an additional and all that. So to say, I reiterate this point, I emphasize this point, I underscore this point. Force you cannot be emotionally unstable, but you should be emotionally talking also. When the gravity of the problem is how serious people are not thinking about the scenario of the climate. Nobody is bothered about. We're dumping the waste on the side. We're using intense AC, but children are not allowing. Upper series mid of the body you should be serious. First of all, but you should be seriously talking also. See, all I is to go for AC. But everyone, because it's called everyone is having 4 cars. Even I am having 4 cars. We are not one society. No, there's no road rules at all. Lot of traffic chaos. But people are not serious about the consequential effect of this kind of pollution and all that. See, they're dumping the waste in the roadside. They're polluting the seashore and not the sea. Because all the Pepsi Cola bottle have been strewn around in the Alayanthi forest and also Amazon forest also. We have cut 20% Amazon forest has been cut. The 25% oxygen has been reduced in the Western Ghats. So these are all things which will be emphatically talking, for which you need discourse markers. Seriousness or emotionally imbalanced, erratic, and that's what I told you. You have to keep your face very intact. Even if you are serious, you should be very cheerful. See, this is state of affairs of us. Smiley can be very emphatic. You underscore the emphasis of we insist on so all these are insistence now. So that can be done with the discourse markers with a very polite manner. How we are going to stop this kind of pollution which is creating a life very miserable. What is we are going to do for younger children when all the trees are cut, when all the lands are recreated? when all the rivers are polluted, then only man will realize he cannot eat money, Ambrose Bierce. So there is a quotation we have to tell every time. I would not say that a tree is not as good as a billboard. There is one of the authors saying, Piti saying, so then you introduce in your story to introduce some of the quotations, anecdotes, cheat notes also. One cheat note படிச்சுக்கலாம் soil apathy. So that is also give a very thing. Fillers don't use it. You normally will say, all right, okay, all right, okay. These are fillers, and all that. This will create really awkward thing. It means you are not prepared at all. Fillers cannot be used. All those things and all that. Discourse markers, fillers must be avoided. I have certain fillers for you. Discourse markers for you. Next one. Words or phrases. Well, speaker is the discourse marker is functioning right, okay, now. I mean to say, okay, right, all right, well, so. Then normally with the conjunction you can use it, or you can use any kind of preposition also. By now, besides that, so good, so, now, okay, all right, right, well, now then, fine, it's fine, it's great. Although, even though also, this is again although, even though it's also conjunction, I would say, it's double conjunction. So, the discourse marker should have a nevertheless, although, இதெல்லாம் எங்க பண்ணனும்னா நீங்க ஒரு ரிஹர்சல் போடணும். Now it's when you have time you do it, but don't be serious about it. Okay, all right, you can do it. Well, you can do it. Now then you can do it. Good, you can use it. You can use fine, you can use it. Great, you can use it. So these are things you can use it for when you show some figures, facts which will be really creating nuisance for everyone, or creating awkward, or creating some sort of seriousness. So dreadful also. Dreadful. Bhayapadra data idana. So see, the scenario is very much dangerous to this situation. Dangerous is any word. How we are unscrupulously doing things. We are not scrupulously thinking what's going to happen to the younger generation. Are we not responsible for this? What you're going to do? How are we going to tackle? Whom you're going to blame? So again, the interrogative pronoun, what, where, how. 5W, 1H should be also used for information. I told you, 5W, 1H. What, where, when, how, what, by whom, and which also can use. These are all the interrogative pronouns and all that. This will again make your presentation professionals. அதுதான் நான் சொல்ல வந்தது. Professionals போடுறது professional speech பண்ணி இதெல்லாம் you have to add. Next one. Mini dialogues will mind you. Would you mind staying for another 5 minutes? It's cold, no? It's too chill. Or you're not comfortable with this atmosphere? Yeah, you're right. Listen. Please listen. Look here. Like that you have everything must be given a very good emphasis. Would you mind asking me certain question? Would you mind talking in the class? Would you mind staying for another 10 minutes and all that? So would is also used as a modal noun, modal verb. Would is wish to do something and all that. I would like to become a doctor. So would it means you wish to do? You wish to be here for another 10 minutes, like that you have to ask the audience. That's what I told you, connect to the audience. Let me see what's happening in the next slide. Let me see the slide, next slide. Let me move on to next slide. Hold on, listen here. Hang on, listen here. So every time when you use the mini dialogues, people will not be drowsy, people will not be sleepy and all that. The mini dialogues, discourse markers are very important. This you have to take it now and put it wherever most appropriate. Next one. Template for tomorrow. I think I'm completing in 1.5 hours. Opening, I told you, good morning ladies and so and so. Introduction, scenario, situation, glaring statistics you have to give very appalling statistics. That's even. Adepod, challenges, what your precarious condition of the pollution, climate, flood, drought, all these things you can think of within the one thing. Extreme drought, extreme climate, groundwater, this thing, pollution, air pollution, water pollution, all those things, challenges you can work it out. Growing population, no control measures, no land is available, no labor is available, and no space for living and all that. Everything put in a one minute challenges. You have at least for 30 seconds you will get. Body or content is very important. What you're going to do, what you expect to do, what you are going to control, the body of the content. Significance of the innovation technology. What technology? Because acid vermicomposting. What is the significance of the biomineralizer? Seeking for the alternatives biomineralizer. Because the organic farming, which is conventionally made, is not useful to the farmers or anybody who is to become entrepreneur. The alternative is we are going for the acid vermicomposting, which will be a business fetching job. It will also fetch jobs for the women, household women, and self-help group people and all that, and also trigger passion for the people become an entrepreneur and become very confident and all that. Scope and utility to promote and popularize. Whether the acid vermicomposting will have scope for promoting and popularization. This our audience should be asking you, so how it can be promoted, will it be done within a house of 5 to 10 feet or 10 to 10 room? It needs 2 acres layer, lot of questions for you. So to promote and popularize is very important. Output is the product. You have the vermicompost with you and bunch of worms also with you. So that is a slide. Outcome is consequent result of this. Through the training, 150 people have been benefited. 450 people have benefited. In 1 month, the sales has skyrocketed to nearly about 2 tons and all that. We were able to get an income of 1 lakh per month. This is got an outcome, but impact is very important. In Coimbatore, there are always people are using the inorganic fertilizer. The farmers, they don't have the attitude to change the inorganic fertilizer. It was all out effort by us. All out effort for Indicla. There is one discourse markers. Enormous effort have been made with the GNA to introduce technology. Out of our interventions, we were able to see a very tangible impact, positive change among the farmers. So gradually, nearly out of 500, 60% shifted towards the organic farming, accidental vermicomposting. This was the impact which we made, which is always called as effectiveness and efficacy of the particular technology. This is template. I have got a sample template for you subsequently. Next one. This is an example that Raja I manipulated this slide. Integrated horticulture cropping system for the land Ondipatti and Kadamalai. I am so Raja. I am HOD, project investigator for the State Land Commission. And my topic of today is integrated horticulture based cropping system for livelihood security in Ondipatti and Kadalamalai Kundu blocks of Theni district. Next one. The objectives is objective port planning, to double the farmers' income, to improve the livelihood status of the farmers, to conduct a lot of trainings and demonstrations, and to promote the nutritive value of the minor fruit crops, to have a nutrition status, ensure the health status of the people. Second slide over. Third. See output. Introduction output because this is a component, but because of this effort, horticulture, integrated horticulture based practices, the planting material distributed by so many farmers, the farmers field, they conducted the demonstrations and material production, perennial moringa was introduced, minor fruits have been introduced, beehives have been introduced, and 25 acres area expansion is observed. This output, that is quantifiable output. Output one day quantification. How many, how much, that's all. Next one. So it's a nutritive planting, this is also output. How many people have been trained? Free and progressive farmers have been trained. Wood apple is one of the technologies. Acid lime is also introduced. Moringa, guava, one was introduced, which was done in many of the pockets of Kandam, Manur, Mailaduthurai, Ponnamba, Padadurai, Thailathu, Nariyuth of Koramangala. These are the farmers who showed a lot of interest. Look at these slides. Have a glance on this slide. Have a glimpse of this slide. How the farmers are coming forward to take this technology. And only thing markers is for them. Let us take for example how we have done our work and all that. Our output shows very clearly how many farmers have been trained. This is the output. I told you introduction. Body now, our body contains objectives and also output. Now outcome program. Body and chronometer. Introduction, body, opening, body and closing. Conclusion part. Next one. So scope and utility, I told you, template la பாருங்க scope and utility னா அது மூலமா என்ன வாய்ப்புகள் இருக்கு எப்படி உபயோகமா மத்தவங்களுக்கு how it be used to society, what the opportunities is going to give the minor fruit products. We conducted a lot of farmers training and demonstrations off campus and on campus and all that. Technical experience was given by Tamil, German and all that. These are all the works we have done through our trainings and the gate farming system. the scope and utility. Next one. So we have propagandized through our publications, news cuttings, leaflets, pamphlets, folders, and all that. Farmers are interested to conduct a lot of meetings and all that. This is the evidence. It clearly shows how the farmers have come forward to take our minor fruit produce and our technologies at one stroke and all that. This improved varieties technology take a really good understanding for the integrated dryland horticulture system, and this TOT model has been found to be successful in the Theni district of Tamil Nadu. Next one. This you can show it off. Finally, to conclude, the expect outcome of the conclusion. The doubling the farmers' income was ensured through an initiative. We have taken a lot of efforts to introduce this, and we saw that livelihood was intact, and there was a nutrition security at all. Create a lot of employment avenues, expand the cultural areas, outcome of the study. Impact is create a lot of telling impact. People have understood the sustainability of this. There won't be any pollution at all in future because they'll be able to use the wasteland. They change the mindset to come and use the wasteland, and they create a lot of value addition. Now they've sensitized on the value addition of this, and we assure and reassure the socio-economic status will be also up and coming. We'll be promoting small scale fruits in there, very much utilizing the minor fruits. This will be a wonderful initiative. It was producing a lot of impact in the farmers. This is what I would like to sum up. Thank you for listening for the past 5 minutes on the integrated dryland cropping system in the Madurai district. Thank you. Now we'll have to give a feedback or a juice plan in the area. Will we be able to do it tomorrow? We will be able to do this, the same thing.
Yes, sir.
Feedback is also important for you. ரொம்ப நேரம் போர் அடிச்சுக்கிட்டா இல்லை ரொம்ப இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங்காக இருந்ததா அது நின்று கேட்டேன். Interesting. Useful இருந்ததா உங்களுக்கு will be able to practice and come tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Meet you tomorrow.
We don't want to prepare slides.
Not necessary. If you come extra day, I'll be very happy. நீங்கள் எதுவுமே கொண்டு வரலைன்னா I'll be the happiest person in the world. Extemporary தான் நான் வந்திருக்கணும், but the thing is உங்களுக்கு டீச் பண்ணுறதுக்காக வந்திருக்கேன். உங்களுக்கு ட்ரெயின் பண்ணுறதுக்காக I come. I want to train you. That's what I use the slides and all. Here afterwards I will not use the slides and all. Certain things I extemporary and அந்த எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் வரும். பட் நீங்கள் வந்து எக்ஸ்டெம்பரரியாக வந்தால் that will be the யூடியூப்ல போடுறது வந்து ரொம்ப ஒரு we'll be really overwhelmed to see our students speaking for 5 minutes about the technical details and attracting the audience and all that. Because presentation is again, I told you in the first slide and all that, presentation to give you useful information to society. The society should be subsequently benefited, and there will be a radical change in development. Pragmatic shift in the cultivation practice and all that. That is what is shown in the introduction, objectives, and your content, output, outcome, scope and utility, outcome, then impact. அதுதான் இன்னொரு typical example I give you cash model. Input is grapes. ஒரு grapes bowl வைக்க input. Grape juice is output. I already told you, for you also. And grape juice எவ்வளோ lactating mother they drank it to increase the iron content வந்து outcome indicators. In a village of Kadambalai Puthappudur, we called 300 people to consume this, of which 200 people, women, have consumed this. Impact is they create a lot of changes in the iron content and all that, and 30 people have come out with a very nutritive status have been increased, and they gave birth to a very healthy baby. That's the impact. Effectiveness of your grape juice is the impact. Quantifiable thing வந்து outcome. Output வந்து எவ்வளோ people வந்து நீங்க ஜூஸ் கொடுத்தீங்கன்னு output. That is called as outcome வந்து promote பண்றது. அவ்வளோ people எவ்வளோ பேர் பில்டிங்கா வந்து they drank the grape juice outcome. Through the drinking, through your drinks and all that, through your technology, how many people have made them to accept this and started doing it. Same example you can do it. Because first you introduce technology, vermicomposting, and you will have a lot of objectives and all that. Sorry. give some of the example to understanding. Introduction is you are introducing a grape juice for the pregnant women to increase the nutrition status of the people. This is the topic that normally. So you have a challenges. Farmers are really, women are not healthy. They are very undernourished, malnutrition. So this can be alternative with the challenges and all that. I told you, and scope and utility when it's very economical, very cheaper. Grapes are very cheaper, very much a perishable commodity, taken at a very low price. Periculum dog, it came just like that because Periculum is known for grapes also. Grapes are from a grape growing area, so grapes are very common here. People have to share out more money to consume. Other than the scope and utility. So impact is that we create a lot of people have come forward take the juice while in pregnancy. The impact created was really wonderful, and more often than not, people are preferring the grape juice in future also for the nutritive status keeping intact during the time of pregnancy. Also, when they are found to have iron deficiency. This is short about the template. Again, I repeated the two examples. Either regurgitate as a you have the template and you have to introduce your markers, disclose markers, and few mini dialogues also in that. Look seriously about this. Listen. Listen grape base voice listen, look. This is all heavy loaded words. So all these mini dialogues can be also impact into your presentation. That will be very wonderful. If you come extempore, I'll be the most happiest person in the world. See that how many people are coming with extempore with only a simple and very deliverable topic, very clear and succinct presentation, short presentation. Thank you for the opportunity. I have taken 1.5 hours only. The tea break, first inauguration, so I am not taking 2 hours. So this is the minimum acceptable time for any professor to do it. Because I've taught, I trained you, I given a customized slide also, I give a sample template for you to emulate my presentation. Thank you for the opportunity, especially for Janani, Prashant, and all my very fan club we have created because the Arokya and all who are all come again to listen to me. And in the opportunity, I am thankful Dean PG Studies also, who had really given an opportunity to make me a trainer. I accepted this because my career is for another 1 year. The previous vice chancellor when I was director, I told them I have trained the students, trained Pani Avans, master trainer, I was preparing as a module. But whatever thing and when I put forth a lot of effort, God will come and help me. The opportunity drops into me. Effort successful over time I was whether newbies is also my friend, but because why should we go for opportunity now? Opportunity came to me just like that. Who said opportunity knocks only once? That's the phrase. Who said opportunity knocks only once? So that was a grueling ground for me and also these people for 9 hours and all that. They played a lot of impact at global conference. Of course, I wish they should also create impact for the people who come from villages, who come from a rural background. For anyone, this will be really a cakewalk for them. Tough irukka mudiyadhu. Inga vocabulary kedaiyadhu, romba complicate pannala, very simple kuduthirken. Whatever you present, we'll accept it. Thank you for the opportunity. In the